Have you ever been pulled over and said, "Officer, why is your hand on your gun?" I know as an officer, I have been asked that on multiple occasions. And today, we're going to talk about it. But first, I want you to take a quick look at this video.
Hey, whoa, hey!
Intense, right? I know. Now let's talk about it. Let's go. Well, hello and welcome back to The Human Side with yours truly, Officer Jill. And I am a police officer in Los Angeles. As you know, I started this channel, this podcast, to improve the relationship between law enforcement and the community. And understanding, I think, is key, particularly during traffic stops. Now, we're going to watch this whole video. I'm going to show you the whole thing from start to finish. It's not very long, but I think it's important for you to see everything that happens. So I'm going to give you a quick little background. So it looks like this video took place in Florida, okay? Hillsborough County, Florida, on November 16th. Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office deputies made a traffic stop for an obscure tag. The deputies approached the vehicle, and one deputy asked to see the suspect's hands. The suspect briefly showed his hands, and then the deputy asked him to exit the vehicle, at which point the suspect reached for a firearm. The suspect began to exit the vehicle with the firearm in his hand. The deputy backed up before shooting the suspect. Unfortunately, the suspect was transported to St. Joseph's Hospital, where he succumbed to his injuries. Now, let's check out the full video.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. Deputy Minsmeyer, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Can I see your hands? Alright, cool. Anybody else in your car?
Nobody. All the windows down.
Huh?
All the windows down.
Alright, hop out real quick. Hey, whoa, hey!
Okay, now that you've seen it in full, let me break a couple things down. And then we're going to discuss further as to why it's so important for us to be very particular in our tactics when it comes to traffic stops. As you can see, the officer is making his approach to the vehicle. Unfortunately, we can't see the vehicle from
How you doing?
the camera from the vehicle.
Good.
But as you see
Deputy
right here, the
Minsmeyer,
officer
Hillsborough
is
County
going
Sheriff's
to
Office. Can I see your
switch hands with his light.
Alright, cool. Anybody else in your car?
Right there. That tells me that the officer used pretty basic tactics that we all use when approaching a vehicle. More than likely, you're approaching, or you should be approaching, with your hand on the top of your gun. And if it's at night, that light is in your left hand. And as you can see in the video, he makes a quick switch from the light to his right hand. And why do we do that? Ultimately, it's officer safety. It's not because of the color of your skin. It's not because of who you are. We know that traffic stops are one of the most dangerous encounters for us as law enforcement. And we know that, unfortunately, people have weapons in their vehicles, which was the case in this actual incident. All right, so let's finish watching.
Good. Deputy Minsmeyer, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Can I see your hands? Alright, cool. Anybody else in your car?
Nobody. All the windows down.
Huh?
All the windows down.
Alright, hop out real quick.
Now, as you can see in the slow motion, the suspect sees his chance and he reaches for the firearm.
Hey, whoa, hey!
Now, obviously, the rest of the video is self-explanatory. And it's really unfortunate that this man felt the need to bring out a firearm during a traffic stop, or to even have it in his car. And so I wanted to just kind of give you a couple stats. So according to the DOJ, a study shows that nearly 40% of officers encounter a weapon during routine traffic stops. And I always think it's interesting when we use that word routine, because I can tell you as an officer, there's nothing really routine about a traffic stop. You really never know what is going to happen and who you're going to encounter and what you are going to find. So I want to talk about some of the misconceptions and some of the public perceptions. So I know that oftentimes you as the public and the community, you see us approaching your vehicle with our hand on our gun and you assume it to be a very aggressive stance or a very aggressive behavior. But as you can see, there is a purpose behind it. It is not necessarily geared towards you unless you are the person who was in this incident here and you do have a firearm. So I just want to reiterate. So it's not really a matter of aggression that we're trying to present towards you. We are really just trying to go home to our families just like you are. And in order to do that, sometimes we have to take certain steps. As you can see, that situation escalated really quick. The video itself, I believe, is only a minute and 11 seconds. And unfortunately, in that minute and 11 seconds, someone lost their life. Hopefully, this kind of gives you a better idea as to what to think about when you see an officer approaching and their hand is on their gun, and you understand that this is a tactic that we use to keep ourselves and our partners safe because things can escalate quickly. Now, you may be thinking, well, you don't know what it's like to feel like you're being mistreated, or feel like someone's being overly aggressive with you, or an officer's being overly aggressive with you. Well, you're wrong. I do know. I know exactly what it feels like. In fact, I want to share my own personal experience before I became a police officer. And I was heading to the gym one night, and I was actually preparing. I was going to the gym to prepare to get in shape to go when I was selected to be able to handle the academy. And so I was going to the gym. It was late at night, maybe about 11 at night. It was cold, and I had my hoodie on. I had a dark hoodie on, and I was actually driving in my dad's car at the time. And my dad's car was a Chrysler 300. Okay, this is when the Chrysler 300 first came out. And if you remember, it was a very popular car. Everybody had a Chrysler 300, from gang members, drug dealers, pastors, business owners. Everyone had this car. And my dad's car was a Hemi, which means it was very fast. And let's be honest, we all enjoy fast cars, right? And so I'm driving down this one particular street, and I got the music blasting. I'm trying to get myself in the zone for my workout. And it was fairly late. Like I said, it was maybe around 11 p.m. And I remember the gym closed at 2. So I was trying to get there to get a decent workout in, to get in the sauna and all that good stuff. And I'm going down this street, and I knew everyone in the community knows about the street, and that there are motor officers that actually sit there and wait for you. Wait for you to speed and give you a ticket. But I was so in the zone, I totally forgot. And sure enough, I'm driving, and I pass this particular street, and I see red and white lights in the background. And who is it? It is a motor cop pulling me over. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm hoping this doesn't mess up my opportunity to get into the academy. I'm hoping I don't get a ticket, all these different thoughts, right? And so, like I said, it was really dark. And so I was thinking that I was going to do him a favor. I knew there was a gas station that was a little further down, maybe about a half a block. So I continued driving, which, let me just put a note, do not do that. When an officer gets behind you, pull over pretty much immediately, okay? Not a good idea. So I go a little further down, and I pull into the gas station thinking that I'm going to help this officer and get him out of the street, right? Because he's a motor officer by himself, okay? I pull into the gas station. And as I pull into the gas station, he pulls behind me, and within seconds, I see about 4 or 5 police cars with their lights and sirens on, kind of making a U-turn and converging on my car. And I am like, what is going on? I am thinking, oh my God, is the gas station being robbed? Why did I pull in here? I didn't know what was happening. And so everyone pulls behind me, and now I'm really confused. I'm like, what is happening? This is so unnecessary, guys. It's so unnecessary. I'm just a young girl going to the gym, trying to get a workout in, right? Officer comes up, pulls up, he walks up, he tells me why he stops because I'm speeding, and we go through the whole process, right? And this whole time I'm fuming. I'm upset because I believe that there is far too many officers. There's way too much, and I feel like they are being extremely extra, and there are way too many officers for a simple young girl speeding, right? So fast forward, I'm in the police academy. So as I'm in the academy, they're teaching me traffic stops, and they're giving us kind of tips and notes and things to look out for. And one of the things that they tell us is, if you ever hear a motor officer go go on a traffic stop and you're close by, you might want to go by and make sure they're okay. And in that moment, I had an epiphany. A light went off in my head and I was like, oh my gosh. As I'm continuing to learn more about traffic stops, is taking me back to that moment in that traffic stop. And I'm getting more understanding as to why the officers were doing everything that they were doing, why there were additional units, why the officer was standing where they were staying. All these things started to make sense to me. And I realized there was a reason. There were reasons, there were safety reasons as to why multiple officers arrived. I know that what I was always taught is that when there is a motor officer that goes on a traffic stop, usually they're by themselves. And usually they're outnumbered. And so if you're in the area, you want to always make sure you stop by and make sure they are okay. And I'm pretty sure once I continue to speed down or continue to drive past a few blocks and not pull over immediately, I'm pretty sure that motor officer probably radioed to neighboring officers saying, hey, I think I have a stolen car here, which is why I gave you that tip. Pull over ASAP. But the point I'm trying to make is I was in the academy and I was learning and getting deeper understanding as to why things were happening. I had a whole perception and really misconception of officers in that moment. Now, obviously, it wasn't enough to make me give up on my dream of being a police officer, but it was enough to at least put that negative memory and that negative thought in my head. And so that's why I wanted to do this video. And I hope that I was able to enlighten you, give you some information, just some more understanding as to why we do some of the things that we do, even some of the things that I know irk you and some of the things that you do not like. There is a purpose behind it. So in fact, I want to give you 3 tips to kind of help you navigate traffic stops and to hopefully make you feel more comfortable now that you have this deeper understanding as to why we do some of the things that we do and how that one thing of us walking up with our hand on our gun can make you a little antsy or make you a little nervous. Okay. So the first thing is stay calm and composed. I cannot stress this to you enough. Now, I don't know why the officer asked the guy to get out of the car, but my best bet is that he sensed, saw, or felt something that wasn't right with that man. And sure enough, he asked him to get out of the car and he produced a firearm. And so I can't stress this to you enough. Stay calm and composed. A natural human response is to read people. We know that you are reading us and we are reading you. When you are overly excited and or aggressive, it creates a response in us. And unfortunately, it makes us look a little deeper as to what is going on that maybe you may be hiding something. And so I want to encourage you, if you have to, take a deep breath. Before we approach, take a deep breath, hold it and release, and that will naturally relax you. Okay, so stay calm. That's a big one. Number 2, communicate clearly. Okay, it's important. Now, if we are stopping you, it's because there's some type of vehicle violation. There's some type of legal reason as to why we are stopping you. So it's very important that you communicate with us clearly. Okay, and number 3, please, please, please just respect the process. I am all for having rights. Big time. I am all for having rights. And I'm not okay with anyone's rights being violated. Not mine, not my family, not my friends. And yes, you have rights. But I can't encourage you enough to at least respect the process, go through the process. And if any time you feel like that you are being mistreated, by all means, request a supervisor, file a complaint, whatever you need to do. But just respect the process, let it play itself out, and deal with everything else on the back end. All right. Now, I hope that I was able to give you some more insight and just some more understanding as to why we do that thing that we do, which is putting our hand on our gun. It is all for safety. It is not necessarily geared towards you. It's geared, unfortunately, towards people like that young man who chose to bring out a firearm during a traffic stop. As you know, I started this channel, this podcast, to improve the relationship between law enforcement and the community. And I believe that there are a few ways you can do that, but one of the ways is by developing deeper understanding of each other. When we develop deeper understanding, that creates a space to actually have empathy. When we have empathy, we can actually have a relationship. When a relationship exists, we can actually work in partnership to make the communities better, right? And so, like I said, understanding, I think, is key, all right? So As always, I would love to know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment down below. If there are any more topics, is there anything else that you want more clarification or more understanding about? I would love to talk about that here. And as always, if you want to have a conversation with me, an honest, respectful conversation with me here on The Human Side, my contact information is in the description below. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to this video. But more importantly, thank you for watching. And remember, if you show me your human side, I show you mine. All right, y'all. Peace.